Things sometimes take a long time just to get started. You're muted. That's good. So, whoa. 2025. No, that's not what I wanted. I want Ed. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get much about that one, but yep, not gonna get much there. Propeller gives me a little description, and Brig Barq gives me a little description. Meander River, however, is a little twitchy. So, hey, he, hoo, ha, here we are. It is, oh god, it is 8:09. I was taking my sweet time. I am Ross. I am by myself tonight, and despite that, with the attempt to get through some light beers, I, on me onesies, am attempting to drink Nova Scotia Dry. Ian is at work. My wife was not interested in trying to search through some sours. Our son was not interested in being asleep long before now. So there's a lot of things at play. Don't mind saying at all. So to get into it, have a couple of these that would have been in the nice cold refrigerated area for a little while. One of which, even from poor Meander River, who they did close up or announce closure just last fall. When did that get announced? Permanently closing Halloween. Okay, yeah, so it was last fall. Popular spot. So yes, we'll turn off the blah, and that's on their Instagram. So I could maybe look up a little bit more about this particular beer on there if they, like, I don't even know. We're closed. It just says, but doesn't really say much about some of the ones that they've got on the go. I don't see the can. I don't see some of the other ones. The Meander River Brewery. Yeah, it's just a Facebook page. So I'm not sure that there's like a meanderriver.com or something of the slide and style. Take a virtual brewery tour with Alan. You know what? No, I don't think I will. Great Beer Lunchbox is my favorite. Okay, so yeah, it's from a few years ago. But that's cool. I can't see any previews there. So, yeah, it's just one that we're kind of getting rid of because I'm probably not going to get much of a chance to talk about the Meander River one outside of that. But first up, as I'm here in the Brig Barq area, is the Session IPA. This is actually one of the favorites of my friend David. There it is in its bright green can. But you can't see Session IPA, and you can even see on there, you might not believe me, but there it is. Right there, it says 3.5%. 3.5 for a session IPA, not light beer, sessionable IPA. And the thing about that is, that's the wrong glass to pour it into. David, anyway, yeah, Dave, I can't remember David's last name. David, who's been on the show a couple of times before, he pointed it out to me and he says, oh, yeah, this is a really good one. You can have, even a couple of these before. If you're at an establishment and then take off, so it's just nice to have something. And the thing about it is, you have something light. You're not too incredibly drunk, and unlike a Bud Light, you can taste it. So I really think that putting this one up against some of the other light beers would be great, especially as it is a 3.5. I'm kind of expecting this one to win the flavor contest tonight. It is coming up really pale. That is super pale there. But this is one of a 6-pack that I bought just recently, because this past Sunday I was invited out to play a little bit of music in a group, and in the group setting, and I said, hey everyone, since we're all out here playing music and we all have to leave and go to our respective homes, would anyone like a 3.5 beer? And I handed it to one of the guys that I play with, and he has more than once said, no, I don't really like craft beer. I can't get into it. He doesn't really like the flavor. They're too bold. They're too this or that. And he tried this. He said, oh yeah, free beer is free beer, and just handed them out. and he said, no, I really like that. I really do like that. So this is getting I say a lot of positive feedback. But me, David, and my friend Greg. So three people at 100% of suggestibility. No, opinion. What's the word I'm trying to think of? This is the problem when Ian's not here. I can't think of all the right words in all the right time. Usually I'm thinking of words while he's talking, but now it's just going to be me. But on the can, so here it is in the delightful lime green can that you can't see because I've got the green screen enabled video-wise. Session IPA from Brig and Barq Brewing, located, headquartered in 3 Mile Plains, Nova Scotia, just off the Windsor Back Road, although there is a delightful tap room up here, just up from my house, which I included on my birthday pub crawl. Session IPA, a sessionable IPA infused with bright orange peel for a zesty citrus kick, perfect for easy drinking refreshment. Right? So, honestly, and it's the kind of thing of, do you want, is it a thirst quencher? You know, is it a, oh my god, I just mowed the lawn, do I need to crush 300, and this is the 473 by the way, the 473 can, do I need to crush a 355 milliliter of a 5.0 Toller Gold? Obvious answer, yes. But what if you just mowed the lawn and you have to go pick up your son from soccer practice, for example? Then you might say, all right, maybe we're in a bit better of a mood here, and we need the Brig and Barq session IPA. Look at that; it is super pale. It's a little cloudy, and I do dig that, but it's, oh my god, there's nothing to it. It looks, I gotta say, it's losing point on looks because it looks like pond water. It looks like it's got nothing to it whatsoever. Smells beerish though. It smells like a tasty lager or an ale. Even it's even got a tiny bit of a hop profile. Didn't know about the zesty citrus or the orange peel in there, but there was kind of something. I wasn't. When someone offers me a beer and I'm not kind of here on the show, I don't usually bother. I don't sit around and get all, what are each of my individual taste buds doing right now. I try not to piss too many people off, but when Ian and I do it, it's fun. So, we'll give it a whirl. The zip, the carbonation in there. It stops you from getting through it. There's a delightful buzz in there. There it is. Our session. Wait, Brig and Barq. Our session IPA is now available in handy 355 6-packs. Perfect for taking it easy. Beach beer. Honestly, I would just call this beach beer. So they don't have a picture of what it looks like in the glass, but you're just crushing it from the can. Probably. I'm trying to remember. Did David drink it from the can or from the glass? We were all drinking them from the can. No, Greg poured one into a glass and it looked okay. It honestly, I would have thought it looked really strange had I looked at it looking like this. But flavor, it doesn't taste like a 3.5. It's got the body of your mouth, but it has the flavor and it's quite good. It is a beery 3.5 because normally, when you have something that's down to like a 3.2, 3.5, and I think I've only ever had the one, what was that, Lawrencetown Surf Crusher, Lawrencetown Surf Session Log or something like that. Too weak, Like, what if it's too weak? But, I think we dropped everything, but I think we're back. Is 3.5 too weak to even drink a beer? Maybe. But I think it's going to get pretty decent marks, to be honest. Decent head on it. Look at that. There is the orange zest. The zest is there. But it also tastes like a beer. It's like you're drinking a beer. It's very similar to just drinking a lager, but it's like drinking a tasty lager, not that lager that you get the bitter grossness at the tail end of it. And so session IPA, you're not expecting a mouth. I don't know if you're expecting a mouthful of hops, but you're not getting that. So it's really light on the palate, really easy to drink, 3.5%. and it still tastes good. I'm amazed. I'm flummoxed. I couldn't believe that I would be this flummoxed because if someone says, "Oh, try this. It's a session beer and it's 3.5%." I think, "Come on, it's just it's gonna taste like grass clippings, just dunked in water, and that's about it." But no, that is a. I don't want to say it's a 100% full flavor. It's not like, ooh, you're not getting a robust stout or I've got the Schoolhouse Blackboard IPAs back in stock, so I've had a couple of those. That is a robust. That is a full flavored beer. But this is so close, especially for what it is. For a 3.5% beer, it is packing a punch. It is really. I think it's hitting above its weight class for what it is. Because these other two, the Limelight and the Barn Swallow, and this is what I'm used to, a 4.2, a 4.5. That's a sessionable lighter beer. In fact, I was considering, we've got another session IPA in there. I forget which session IPA is it. I'm not sure. But the session IPA is like a 5.4 because usually have an IPA it's 6.5 or some kind of otherness from there. Let's see. Did I write it down? Which one I've got in there? I'm going to see what is in the stash session. No, I apparently did not write it down. Interesting. Well, the Burn Swallow Belgian is in there, so I got to move that out of the way. We got to update the inventory because what I've got for inventory is different than what Ian's got for it. He moved, so it's all moved from one fridge to another, and so I don't think we have everything completely mashed up. He had one the other day. I said, "Hey, you must have had this one a few months ago. Did you like it?" I said, "I've never seen that can before in my life," so we're a little off. I've got a bunch that I picked up that I need to get to him, and then we can start comparing those ones. We are a little low on inventory in the closet, but that's a good thing so that we don't have ones that are definitely getting, and honestly, they are getting a little bit long in the tooth, some of these ones. I think these two light ones, but when are you going to say, ooh, can't wait to have that 4.2 Belgian farm, actually, I mean, Belgian Farmhouse, it's probably pretty good. Um, I get, not judgy, opinionated. I get nervous about certain breweries sometimes. I was nervous about Rare Bird last week, and for good reason. I think I like that one the least. I hadn't enjoyed anything coming out of Meander River just yet, so it's gonna suck if this is finally the one that I absolutely love. They had like a Chipotle porter or something like that, like a spicy porter. I was like, oh, it's gonna be so good. Meh. It was not. No, it was not good. So again, this comes down to, and we talked about the fact that we didn't like Two Crows right up front, but then we started really liking Two Crows, and it seems to me that the breweries that we weren't enjoying were the ones that were closing. Not to speak ill of the dead, Serpent Brewing being one of them. Um, yeah, I loved the stuff coming out of Off Track, so that was sad. Uncle Leo's, and yeah, it's not 100%, but I don't think there's one open that right now that I'm sort of saying, really, why are you try Triders, and just outside of Truro. They closed as well, and I think we tried a bunch of them on here, and I didn't like any of them. So it's this capacity, this swell of what is available and what's going to happen. And is the capacity enough to to live up to the market? Can the market handle that many breweries? Maybe not. And if so, it's sort of the ones that maybe aren't as successful for whatever reason. Either brewing enough, or brewing something good, or brewing something that everyone is enjoying, or maybe brewing and being way in the middle of nowhere. And so I'm a little worried about some of my little ones like Lazy Bear, like Tanner. It's the very small niche ones, but I'm hoping that they're right there and they've got enough of a local local business, local market that they'll survive, especially this the last few articles that I've been reading, some Saltwire ones and some Chronicle Herald ones, basically saying Nova Scotia craft beer market, even though it's doing better than some of the other ones, but oh my goodness, very, very Chicken Little Sky is Falling kind of article. I'm glad that I get to leave a lot of that to come back to. So the session IPA, Brig Barq. Let's oh, I had it up over here. Derp. Stillwater Dry Hop Pilsner. Oh, did we just have? We did just have Pilsners. Interesting. Why do I feel like I'm on number 164 when this doesn't seem to be the right number? Well, anyway, this is week number 256, according to this, episode number 165, March the 4th. And that was the session IPA, basic type, IPA, Is the session IPA kind of its own thing? It's almost like a lager, really, because it's a sessionable IPA. It's made like an IPA, so you gotta do it. And I gotta go high. That's really, really, really good for a IPA that is sessionable, for a light IPA with the orange peel zest on there. I'm happy giving that a 9.2. I am fully confident with that. And then let's see, we got the Barn Swallow Belgian Farmhouse Ale. I don't really know. Meander River. And then the Limelight Lager from Propeller. Actually, Propeller. I always spell Propeller wrong. It's probably because I pronounce it wrong as well. But you don't question how I pronunciate things. Meander River. Formerly, well, still, I think, yeah, it's an Ashdale, which is in Hants County, just a little bit east of Windsor, just up the way there in towards the valley. In fact, here we go. The Farm, an adventure or a wrong turn leads you to Meander River's farm and brewery nestled beside the twisting river it's named after. Farm provides an agritourism experience like no other. There's no beer like this beer anywhere but here. The Barn Swallow Belgian Farmhouse. Ingredients: water, hops, barley, yeast. Can't find anything more about this. So I guess the question is, what is a Belgian Farmhouse Ale? It says, with a saison, rustic, historically seasonal beer, traditionally brewed in winter for consumption by farm workers during summer. These ales are characterized by high carbonation, dry, crisp finish, complex, fruity, spicy notes derived from specialized yeast. Well, all right. That's cool. It's not the weirdest thing ever. So we'll give it a try. I like how it's they usually have little names to them as well. So it is a farmhouse. It's the Farmhouse Ale, but it's called the Barn Swallow, which may or may not have lived in the barn with them. Switching over to Meander River with the video, not the video, the backdrop behind me. Why can I not words? Am I starting to be concerned? No, I was always kind of concerned about this. Other people are more concerned than I am. But I think that I feel like I need to flex my muscle a bit more, my wording and my thought muscle, which is why I'm glad that I get to do improv stuff up the road with my theater, because that helps me a little bit more. Just that kind of the ability to be off the cuff and try to use your brain matter a little bit more. Haven't really, I say I haven't live streamed, but I basically live stream twice a week and occasionally for many hours. So we'll see how that all turns out. But I think my ability to ramble on and just kind of keep a thing going has taken a bit of a hit. For whatever reason. Could it be lack of sleep? Could it be far too much beer? Maybe. This is going all over the place. That's an interesting flavor. I'm getting just kind of a bit of a lick off the side of the of the glass here. It's a bit more coppery colored, but that was to be expected because the other two are, these are either, the session IPA or what is happening here? Stop making a mess. The lager or a session IPA, you do sort of expect that. You have to physically dry the side of the can so that we can get through there. I didn't get much more out of the Meander River brewery location. Reminder, we are closed today. Permanently closed website. Oh, meanderriverfarm.ca. Website expired. Okay, so that's the website is very no. It's been a number of times. Oh, there's the picture. One of the photos is the one that I'm using as my background. And no, I have no idea who this person. Who is it? She's there. There's someone kind of painting on the side of the bar, and there's a dog lying down. So definitely a place that you want to go to if you want to see an dog. Just sort of laying there. Well, you can't now, but there's a couple that do that. You can take your dog up to sea level to the Millstone Harvest Brew House up in Sheffield Mills. Where else have I seen a dog at the brewery? Ooh, it's one of the ones where it's all sort of outdoors-ish. Is that Lite Ship down in Lunenburg? Probably. Who else? Maybe the Garrison Beer Garden Grounds is very outdoors-ish as well, but I feel like they serve food as well. The places that don't serve food, and it's just the beer, I believe. Those are usually the places. I'm trying to think if Tapestry does that. No, because you can bring food in, but can you bring your dog in? Haven't seen anyone try. But I do like it up at Millstone because you go in and there's just this nice, cozy, happy dog curled up under the table. It's a nice smell off it. Maybe a little yeasty. This one might have been in there a little bit long. And that's what was happening with a few of the Meander Rivers and a few of the rare birds. Is even when we got them fresh, honestly, and I am the first one to say we've had them for too long, and they've gone a little off. But honestly, the rare bird ones, even when we got them absolutely perfectly fresh, brand new, they still just taste weird. Still just taste like something's ever so slightly wrong. Yeah. Was it the Stiltwalker Dry Hop Pilsner? Might have been that. I'm going to get the whole thing in here. The best part about the 355 milliliter cans is they fit in my 16-ounce glasses with room to spare. The 473 cans usually fit in there as well, but they go right up to the top. Yeah, all right, here we go. Last little bit of that's some juicy stuff down there. Okay, yeah, now we're gonna get nice and hazy. Is that? Oh my, yeah, we got some yeasty residue at the bottom of that one. So this may affect things. I'm not sure. The head on it though, you can't say it's not reacting. That's got the tomato soup smell. Just telling me that something's maybe a little bit off, but I don't know. I like the color of it. It's very orangey. Well, knowing absolutely nothing about it other than being a farmhouse ale, the Belgian farmhouse, sorry. So it's just, it's a saison, something like that. Cheers. Soup. The soup, 4.2, not unwelcome tomatoey soupy flavor. And that could either be that it's been in the closet for a long time, or it was, what was the thing I learned? If it tastes like tomato soup, then that means it wasn't fermented long enough, or it wasn't cooled down properly, or anything or everything could have happened. It's interesting. I wish I was getting some of the things that you probably expect to see in a farmhouse ale, but for a 4.2 farmhouse, it's got the flavor. It's in there. It's still carbonated. It's good head on it, so like it's still there. Mm. And since Meander River closed in October, that's 6 months. 10. We're in 3, 5 months out for even being able to be purchasable. And I'm not sure how old this one was before then. I don't think they dated their cans. Where was I? I went into to Brig Barq, and I thought that we hadn't picked up cans of the double IPA yet, because I noticed the double IPA is gone. So the big IPA is still in cans. The session IPA is still going, but the Brig Barq double IPA, there was only 2 cans left, and I went, give them to me, just in case we haven't done it yet. And we haven't. That's because we have our 2 previous cans. So I've got extra double IPA from Brig Barq, and I'm fine with that. I might have one after this, to be honest, because these are all kind of weak. But when I was asking about them, the server behind the counter, and she said, "Oh, are you sure?" And she got one out, and she said, "Oh," and she looked at the bottom and decoded. Well, it wasn't that much decoding. I think it actually had the date written on it. It was stamped on it. She said, "Oh yeah, these were only canned in what did she say? December." I went, "You don't want to know how old of beer I have had before, so don't worry about December. That's practically fresh, super fresh." Um, so I had a quick look at the bottom. I don't know if anyone else is doing this because, and I'm not going to bring this up with C-bands again, but there's the rumor is that some breweries would like to have a standard in Nova Scotia where every can has a packaging date on it, and some breweries, for whatever reason, are against that. And the only reason I can think of to be against that is you don't want everyone to know when your beer gets canned. And the only reason I can think that would be the case is because you don't care when your beer was canned. You just want to sell it and get, buy it and get out kind of mentality. Maybe. Oh. I'm not gonna supply a numerical amount to this one. Because they're out of business, so there's no point. You can't get this. It's the last cheers, hurrah to Meander River. I'm sorry they went out of business. I'm sorry they closed up. Um, Dems to breaks. And yeah, it didn't make much sense. It doesn't make much sense to give it a mark, especially because I'm not even sure how long it's been in there. So might have gone off a little bit. And yeah, I have no idea, and I have no description on it, so I have nothing to even base it on. I have finally found something regarding Propeller's Limelight, and it's from May of 2024. That is a while ago. Wow. Oh yeah, this is so long ago. AI didn't even have an answer for me. Summer Fave returns. Propeller's Limelight is a thirst quencher from last year. So yeah, I don't think we got this 2 years ago. This was just from last year when they do their summer series. Blah blah blah. So let's have a look at what it says from last year. It's a thirst quenching light lager infused with. Okay. Anywho, I'm not skipping it. I'm enjoying it. It's actually not as tomato soupish as some other ones I've had have been. It's a 4.2. Got a little haze to it. It's drinkable. It's not too bad. Honestly, if you like tomato soup, get yourself a tomato soup ale. It's right there. I think I'm gonna move on. I think mostly because I don't really know where to put that one. were to put a 4.2 Belgian Farmhouse Ale. So I've never had anything like that before, and it does taste like something's not quite right, and it's probably my fault. So Propeller, always happy to judge Propeller, because you're one of the big dogs, so you got to take it. 100 calories, it says, 100 calories, and the Lime Light Lager, 4.5%. Says on the can, Propeller's Lime Light is a thirst-quenching light lager infused with real fresh lime for bright citrus aromas and flavors. It finishes crisp, clean, and ultra refreshing. Ultra refreshing, and there it is. It's on their Instagram post. So it's a summer fave returns infused with real fresh lime for bright citrus aromas and flavors. Available now. Blah blah blah. Canada-wide shipping. Next time you're craving something light and easy drinking, reach for a can of Lime Light. I get it. Lime Light. So it's talking about like theatrical or movie famedom. What would you even call that? Well, whoa, limey. It's got the limes. They got the meats. Propeller has the limes like Arby's has the meats. Oh, is that something? I keep thinking that I'm seeing floaty things in each one of my glasses, but it ends up just being bubbles. Look at the color, though. I mean, the contrast. So that's a beer, and then this is the pale, sickly looking, delicious, but sickly looking. Like the looks of it on the 9.2 for Brig Barq. It's mostly on color. I wish there was something to cleanse that, spiff that up a little bit. And again, but I think my Propeller glass is a 20-ouncer. So there it is. Definitely, it all fits in with its enormous amount of head on the top as well. You smell nothing but lime off the top of that. It is all lime all the time. It is a 4.5. Bud Light Lime, if I'm not mistaken, is also a 4.5. 4.2. I'm wrong. So this is slightly more ABV than a Bud Light Lime. I don't remember it being quite as green and gross colored. I thought it was like kind of a blue with some green. Bud Light Lime can, 12 can, Northgate Liquor Store, and then there's a picture of Pabst Blue Ribbon. Don't even know what's going on over here. Oh, right, forgot to move over to Propeller. Booyah! Here we are in the Propeller Estabulary. Estabulary. There's no way that's a word. I'm mixing up establishment and constabulary. Estabulary. Estabulary appears to be a misspelling. Okay, estabular. To stable. To put in a stable. To estabular. What? Estabular. Verb. I'm going to estabular this. Establo? Well, it's just borrowed Spanish. I like the estabulary. Misspelling of constabulary. So it seems to be interchangeable with a misspelling of constabulary, such as reference to a Porto Luis estabulary or a Salt Lake City estabulary band. I like this. Because constabulary. Now, is that a police force or what is suffix of eulary? What does the eulary mean at the end? Vocabulary is the airy, origins from the Latin suffix pertaining to. So constabule, airy, pertaining to the constables. So it doesn't really mean like a location. So an estabule is to put in a stable, and then it's pertaining to putting things in a stable. Welcome to our estabulary. Grommet. It's my turn for breakfast today, Grommet. Cheers. all in the smell. There's a little tiny bit. This is the sneaky thing of a 4.5 delightfully colored lager called a light lager. If it weren't for the lime, there'd be no flavor. I'm only getting lime out of this, and this is the 4.5. It's got more body. It has more presence. There's more mouthfeel to it than the Brig Barq, obviously, but not much else. Propeller Limelight. I'm sorry. What are you saying is going to happen here? Finish is crisp, clean. Yeah, that's not clean. Bright citrus aromas and flavor. I mean, yeah. Quenching light lager. So in no way are you going to tell me that it tastes like beer anywhere. It is ultra refreshing. Yes. What would I rather take to the beach? A 6-pack of 3.5 IPA flavor, beer flavored deliciousness, or a 6-pack of 4.5 just fake? Like what is a lime drink? You put the lime in the coconut and drink a bowl up? No, that's not right. What is a mimosa? Or a mojito? No, mojito is mint. Mimosa is juice and champagne, I think. I mean, you'd think that, for the amount of beer that I drink, you'd think I'd drink other things that taste kind of like these. What is the most famous lime beverage? Most famous lime bevy is a margarita or a daiquiri. So the mojito is mojito is rum, lime juice, and mint. Margarita is tequila, lime juice, and orange liqueur. Sounds good. Classic cocktail: white rum, lime juice, simple syrup. I don't own any simple syrup. My wife would probably like some of these more interesting things. Need to get her drinking some curious mixtures. She does like my taste in tequila, which I got from my friend Jamie. That's who I should have got on here tonight. Oh, it was killing me all week long. Who was I going to get to drink with? But he's probably busy. He's busy most Wednesdays. He works at a theater, and they show movies. Wednesday movie nights is like a big thing, so he's usually working. Brazilian limeade, lime Ricky. No, I don't want to drink a lime Ricky. What's a Capirina? Capirina, Brazil's national drink. There you go. Made with cachaçao, sugar and lime. What's cachaçao? I have no idea what this is. Nope. I want to search for that. Cachaçao. Cachaça. Okay. Brazil's most popular distilled spirit made from fermented, fresh pressured sugarcane juice. Usually with an alcohol content of 38 to 54. Brazilian rum, using the Capirina and others production cachaça. I'm in. Let's try some cachaça. Let's go get it. Le Blanc cachaça Brazilian rum. Ugh. They recently changed the NSLC. LeBlanc cachaça rum. Oh, okay, it's perfectly clear. So it's like a rum, but it's $52. Sugarcane, award-winning handcrafted Brazilian rum is named after the affluent neighborhood. And the affluent. Oh yeah, they're making the fancy rum in the affluent neighborhood. No, they are not. Pitu cachaça. So they've got some cheaper cachaças. Oh, that's the LCBO. I ain't driving to Ontario. What is cachaça? Anywho, might learn to drink some cachaça and try that out, because it's got to be better than this. Lime-flavored things. Lime-flavored beer. I don't know why lime-flavored beer became kind of a thing. You put lemons in your Corona, as Ian is always reminding me. It's okay. It's fine. It's a 4.5 light lager. Given the choice between this and a Bud Light Lime, I'd definitely go for Propeller. Buy local. I'm not paying money to Budweiser, those jackals. But yeah, give it to Propeller. And I like that the options are there. If you want a local Nova Scotian made craft beer version of just about every beer you can find, or famous flavor and things like that, I'd say you can get a better one. Is this better than Bud Light Lime? I don't have a Bud Light Lime next to me, so that would be your indicator. Maybe we do that. Maybe we, and like a summer series of putting up certain beers next to each other. Who would be the American beer specialist? Would that be Ian Smith, Sac Vegas Brewing Company, Tapestry Beer Bar, 833 Sackville Drive? Or do I know anyone else that might be totally into that? I mean, we always joke that Kier's into the facts. No, I can't really think of anybody else that would be sort of. It could be a research opportunity, especially when the beers. I feel like the competitive season is summer, and they're kind of putting out their, here's what's, hey, you want to have something like, this is like a Corona, but it's better, and this is like a Bud Light Lime, but it's better. And it's better, it's local, it's fresher, it doesn't have all of the preservatives in there, and I find that that's the flavor that I dislike the most. And it's worse even than the tomato soup that I get out of something that's been yeasted, under yeasted. I gotta look that one up. Why does my beer taste like tomato soup? I have searched this before. Creamed corn or cooked cabbage, dimethyl sulfides. Common off-flavor results from brewing issues like weak boil, covering the kettle, slow cooling of the wort. Ooh, I've done that, which prevents the volatile compounds from evaporating. Inefficient boiling. Oh, you inefficient boiler. Oof. And then he called me an inefficient boiler, so I slapped him in the face. How to fix it. Boil vigorously for at least 60 to 90 minutes. I mean, fair enough. Blue Moon tastes like tomato soup. Blue Moon, yeah, also gross. What is that? Shock Top, gross. There's, you go to fancy places and you're like, why your beer no good? Is it possible that I need to? Do we go on location? Do I know anyone with like their own? I mean, other than a bar that only serves craft beer, which is phenomenal. That was my other option. I was gonna just go and accost Ian tonight, who's closed in the next 10 minutes, and just see what he had on tap. Or to go into any like a bar, the main ones around here, because you go in, and I usually get a Propeller Galaxy because that's where the flavor lies. But they got like, oh, here we go. We've got, what is it? Black Horse. They got Fine Company, of all things. Like, get away from me with your Fine Company. Don't give me that. They're not good. And there's so much not good. And one little delicious, there it is, the craft beer. Yes, yum. Bring me that. Even some, they got like the Schoolhouse, even my least favorite Schoolhouse beers. I'm like, yes, holy crap. Give me the Vice Principal IPA? Principal IPA? I get them mixed up. Vice Principal or the Principal. Schoolhouse Brewery, tap room menu, full circle burger. That is not what I thought I was gonna get. Shop, subscription, beer boutique. What? No, I've got these taster glasses. Get out of town. Beer and seltzer. Here we go. Checkers Porter. I've got some of those. Principal Ale. Scotia Next Vice Principal IPA in the Valedictorian Blonde. So yeah, the Vice Principal IPA, probably my least favorite. There it is, the Martok Session IPA. The Session IPA is 5.3 because the Vice Principal IPA is 5.6? Huh? If your IPA is 5.6 and your Session IPA is 5.3? Is there a big difference there? Anywho, we'll find out because we do have some Martok IPA in there for the Session IPA, and we'll match that up. Maybe against something that's close in the 5.3, and I think we got some around. I didn't want to put Martok Session IPA up against the Brig Barq Session IPA because one's a 3.5 and one's a 5.3. Maybe, especially because my co-host Ian, has not had the Brig Barq Session IPA, so we'll add that in as either a third or a fourth when we're trying the Martok IPA against other things. Regardless, I got a few sips of this left here, but I'm gonna get out of here. You can. Oh my God, this is the most unimpeded by chemicals I've been in doing the outro, I think, in a really long time. You can find our podcast in all the podcasty places. You can check out our YouTube page, youtube.com/@drinknsdry. We are live every week, Wednesday nights, 8 till 9 p.m. Hopefully get some guests coming up in the next month or two. I've been reaching out, and we got some good responses from people thus far. You can find the podcast in all the podcasty places. If I didn't already say that, see, yeah, now I say that I'm doing this mostly sober, and it's going completely off the rails. You can check out our social medias. We've got some Instagram, some TikTok, some YouTube shorts, and I try to put the shorts up there. I constantly promise that I'm going to start releasing everything, and then I don't. So if you're not watching this live, sucks to be you, I guess. It's all online there anyway. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Thank you to Brig Barq, Steve over at Brig Barq, and thank you to Meander River. Sorry about the closure. Thanks to Propeller for making the beers that we tried tonight. And we'll definitely see you next week.